it's sex work. If you're a dancer, if you're an OnlyFans, it's sex work. You don't have to be a prostitute to be considered sex work, so don't feel bad being called that. This is a FYI to anyone who watches this. If you're going to use sex work, number one, don't be broke because you're doing it wrong. You might as well get a job folding clothes at Abercrombie. Number two, use it as a means to perfect your craft and meet the people you need to meet, to make the sacrifices you need to make in wrestling to become good and get the right mentorship. And I think that's why I get away with it, because from speaking to so many of the boys and some of the chicks, I say some of the chicks because some of the chicks are not like as understanding as the boys, but they knew that I was doing what I did so that I could be the best wrestling product that I could be, the best. And I'm still striving for that to this day. I still dance. I do also have a regular job working from home. I am in college. I do a lot, but I still dance because it gives me the flexibility and the finances to become the best wrestler that I can be to this day. At the end of the day, that's why I do it. If I wasn't wrestling, I probably would not give two shits about this job. It is a very traumatic, like sex work is traumatic, period. We get sexually assaulted every night. I don't recommend it, but if I had a daughter that wanted to do it, fine, just do it right? But anyone in sex work, in wrestling, make sure you're not broke. I don't want to see you tweet or post on Facebook, hey, here's my Cash App, I need to make this money. I don't want to see that. That means you're not doing it right. It means you're not doing it right. And it's actually kind of embarrassing as someone who is a sex worker and a wrestler to see that you're still broke. It means you're not doing it right. And you should probably go work at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, I'm glad times have changed, but I don't want to give it so much leeway that women forget that it is a means to an end, which is becoming a great wrestling product. At least that's how I used it, and I still continue to use it. And I'm glad that my friendships and my connections in wrestling, from the independents all the way to WWE, know that they know that. And I think the person that you had mentioned, I think they know that too. They understand. And when you talk to someone of that high caliber, high status, because when you think about it, who you had mentioned is pretty, I mean, that person is close to like a Steve Austin, The Rock type character when you think about it.
Right. Yeah.
If someone like that is going to understand, it's because there's this commonality where they share with me that they know that I just want to be the best at wrestling. I want to be good at it and I want to be respected. And that's it. That's all I want. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's what I want everybody to realize. Yeah, okay, ACR is a stripper. Okay, but why? Because she wants to give the best wrestling she can ever give at the end of the day. The
Absolutely.
end. To sum it all up, if you're thinking about going into sex work as a means to an end, I don't recommend it. It's not glamorous. There's a lot of trauma involved. And just go full clothes at the store and get a college degree. I still have my college degree and I'm still studying, so I don't have to do this anymore. But I don't recommend it. I don't. You know, like
Here we go.
And we're back.
That's a lot of clicks. See what I'm saying? Like if I could have somebody do all that and all I have to worry about is being present.
We can figure it out.
I know.
We're going to have to get your sister working in here.
I know, but whatever. So there you guys go. A little sneaky peek to get the party started. That's Talking Shit with ACR. And we have a lot of episodes. I'm going to have them up and running soon, so you guys can like listen to them on all platforms soon. So stay tuned for that. So that's what today was all about. Was first of all us hanging out. That's number one, and then number two is just revisiting these moments and hanging out with all you fine people. So, how was it going back into time? That was like a year ago.
That was a year ago.
Because it was in the summer. Because I remember I was like, "Oh, it's summertime. Let's wear something summery." And that's when I
was
had
feeling
the
myself during that
that's
time.
a
I
real
was
cute
feeling
little top you
myself.
had on there. Real cute.
Woo. It makes me realize that maybe I'm also a little bit happier in a way. There's less pressure. But that's going to change. I know that's going to change. It goes up and down all the time. Doesn't it feel like that with you?
It has to. Here's the thing. I was reminded recently that it always is going to go up and down because you can't stay in either or. You can't stay in the ups and you can't stay in the downs. You have to go through it. And it's
a
hard to
journey.
hear.
Like there's
It's-
no end. Like if you do any kind of entertainment, I just feel like people think, oh, there's a destination. I want to accomplish this. I mean, there might be milestones, but at the end of the day, I'm like, whoa, this is a wild ride, and this is what I get to call my life. And I love it. And that's what people should be chasing if you ever consider doing anything like that. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, here's the thing. That's why you see people who are considered top notch, like actors or musicians or wrestlers, you know, like the A list, right? And whatever it is, music. Um, you see that a lot of these people suffer from depression, and
Ooh,
they just have moments that
too.
breakdowns, and
I know all
it goes
about
to
that.
and it goes to show you that
Come on.
okay, they had a goal. Like let's talk about like Justin Bieber. Okay, that's a good example because I remember when he was a little boy and I watched the little movie
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
about him.
The movie.
Yeah, yeah. There's a movie, Never Say Never. I was a believer myself, like I was. But after I saw that movie, because I was, you know, I'm older, so when I saw it, I was a little older. I've been around the block a time or two. And so I remember I was with Danielle, and the first thing I said when the movie was over, I said, let's see how long it is before Hollywood breaks him. And then I go watch, he's going to go crazy. And so when stuff started surfacing, Danielle goes, remember you said, and I said, yes, because that's what happens. So I use Justin Bieber as an example because in that movie, Never Say Never, he was a little boy. He had this dream to be, you know, in music and be successful. He's accomplished that. Most people know, even if you don't like his music or never even heard of his music, who Justin Bieber is. So he still suffers from this, like, I got it all.
Leo Jackson.
Oh yeah, he's always this guy. Here we go. Yep, he always.
Hi, Shelly Martinez and ATR. Y'all look amazing and sexy today. Also, y'all in the wrestling booty Mount Rushmore with Katie Forbes and Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, Leo comes on here and he often talks about how um, different things need to be renamed, and it's always something that's themed of the booty nature. Of the booty nature.
I like booties.
But anyways, going back to the Biebs, so more famous than more people that in music will ever experience is the point. He still is unhappy. People probably look at him and they don't understand why because he reached his goal, like you were saying. So where do you go?
Where you
And
go?
then not only that, the price to get to that goal, which is heavy. And so now you paid the price.
I feel like it's your sanity. Do you feel like that's the price? I feel
I
like
feel-
I've lost my
Don't
mind
come for me.
years
I will say
ago.
this once only. It's the soul.
And this is what it feels like.
They sold their soul for.
They sold their souls.
However you want to interpret that is up to you. That's all I'm going to say. Don't come for me. I'm just.
No, it's fine because
But that's the thing. It's like, where do you go from there? And some people don't realize. And
that's why
think
they
about
lose
it.
their minds.
Think about it. Okay, so we could sit here and be like, okay, we're always trying to chase something and that helps us artistically. So what if we were the Justin Biebers of our whatever, like wrestling. So if we were the most famous, like more famous than Trish, more famous than Lita, more famous than I don't know, Sable, more famous
Right.
than these people, how would we feel right now? So that means we accomplished all of that, holding
I
that
feel like I
title.
would probably like shave my head or paint it a different color.
It's a lot.
And just like
And people don't talk about
it's
that.
almost like you lose, maybe because the journey is what makes it fun. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the good part. Once you get it, yeah, there's nothing left.
That's why I
you're
feel
literally you're like made less human. That sounds terrible.
that's why I
but
feel though like there's people that I've personally known that they became famous, but once they became like an A-lister, they started branching out in other things, whether it's owning a wine company or
they're
or these
bored.
different
They're
but that keeps them
bored.
alive. That
Right.
keep so they're able to make their paycheck with their entertainment job, but
Like they obviously made
have
their
fun with
money,
it.
but now these business ventures are their like
They're high.
hobbies.
And they get a high off of that. They're
Right,
that high
right.
off of it. And then there's money maybe there. So it's like they don't have to really rely on, let's say, the wrestling
It's a
job.
hobby that pays
So they can have
itself.
more fun when they know, oh, I don't have to really be here. So
Right.
the pressure's off. Then I need to keep my spot. I need to keep my spot. It's like, well, if I lose my spot, I can go and just, focus on my restaurant or focus on my acting career or whatever it is that passion is there. So I feel that there's people that can go that route about it, but then there's people that become very, even though they look good on paper, they're super famous, they're so unhappy because
Yeah.
they aren't getting fed that anymore. There's no more search, there's no more of that kick. Because
I mean to get to the point that they get, that's a peak. That's the top. And
so where do you go from there?
What do you do? I think that's why I think like a lot of these billionaires are like trying to go to space.
Because
They're
they need
bored.
more.
They need more. They're bored and
They need more. Like the Shatner.
God, it's the same thing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for subbing. The cake is a lie. Cake? Who had cake?
The cake is a lie.
At least no one responded to the Peach message with
Did
the
I
farted.
eat cake?
Did you? Who ate cake?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where's this talk of cake? That's what I'd like
That
to know. It's
sounds
Friday night.
So good right now.
Have some cake. So we had some comments here, and there was one that stood out aside the Mount Rushmore.
So I hate when people always try to put their Cash App out there. You know what? It's tacky, yes. I think there's a time and place.
But you know what? Okay, I feel uncomfortable doing that kind of thing, right?
I do too.
So I don't
if
do
I
it.
do it, it's usually a joke, but I'm also like, send me $1.
So here's the thing. I feel completely uncomfortable doing it. But the times I've done it and allowed myself to be 1000% uncomfortable, by the way, to where inside I'm having a panic attack, is because I see other people doing it and they're getting all this money and they're like, that's how you make
Are
the
they
money.
really?
That's how you make this money is you ask, you drop the Cash App, you do the live streams, you ask for tips. God, every time I ask for tips, crickets, and then I feel like an asshole. Like, well, I guess I suck and maybe I should stop trying to put my content out there.
No, but I think like you have a fan base like I do where they're dedicated. They may not tip, but they do. They support. They support the main.
But I'm over here trying to learn
entertainment,
how
the
these
main
girls
media.
are killing it online, right? And then the main thing is the tips, and they're always like, "Tip me, tip me, tip me." And so I went and tried it a couple times, and I stopped because I don't like
that at the
it.
strip club.
It makes me feel so ugly.
Too tacky. Too tacky.
I just can't. And then
0
I'm like, I have
out of
resentment.
10, do not recommend.
But that's when resentment comes in because I'm like, well, these girls
Why are they making so much money?
because they're asking for tips and
They're
people are
ugly.
tipping.
Why are they making so much money?
I don't know. It hurts. But anyways.
That's a pain y'all will never know about. Y'all will never know
So
about
here was
that.
an interesting question here. Does sexy Patreon and OnlyFans have a negative impact on relationships? What is your thought on that, ACR?
No. I have a great guy who supports it 1000%. and I am the luckiest girl in the world for that. It does not get in the way at all. Very positive. Great experience.
However, that's rare.
And needs to not be rare anymore. And
It's
needs to not
rare.
be rare anymore.
So I understand why there's the question. When I first started going with Metal Jesus, we've been together for 7 years now. I made it very clear what I do, what I've done, and how I make my money. So I put it out there on the table. He's very supportive of it. He helps me where he can with it. It's fine. But I've been with people that are in entertainment business, so I'm thinking they're going to understand. They get it. I remember once I was told,
so.
I've never, from a wrestler, I've never dated a sex symbol before. I'm not used to it. Just like that, like a baby. I'm not used to it. He tried to tell me to take a post down. I was like, take my post down? Like, no, that's not happening. Not 1%. Not 1% is that happening. Exactly.
No.
So, in my world, there's been times where even people who have done their IMDb's are way more spectacular than mine will ever be. And that's just the truth. You know, some of them I was a fan of. They even got jealous.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because
so there is something different than just being like another wrestler, because y'all do this. It's the same thing. Wrestling is normal, like day-to-day life for us. To be using sex work as our income, it's a different industry.
way different.
It's so different. That's why they pick out.
So that's why I understand the question, and then that's why it's hard. And just like ACR was saying in the video clip, not recommended, because there's a lot that comes with it. It's not, and that's the thing with this OnlyFans era where it's become mainstream, which a lot of good comes from that, you know.
Do you remember when it was so scandalous?
Yes, I was on it. I was on it.
Yesterday. I said this shit used to be so scandalous,
shady, and judgmental.
They tried to cancel me in 2017. It was a dirty time. I'm actually glad we're out of that.
But that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of good that comes with the fact that it's become mainstream, but there's always the bad that comes with it as well. And I feel that there's a lot of people out there, in particular the ladies, that open up their OnlyFans and they have no idea what comes with it. So they're reckless with it, just thinking, I'm getting the money. I feel cute now. I'm a model. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and then they're going to have a burnout, and then they're not going to know how to deal with it. And so that's the thing. And so I feel that when there's people out there doing that, their relationships have to be suffering as well. Unless they're with somebody that's like, I'll take the pictures for you. But I feel like, though it happens.
My boyfriend does not take my pictures for me. Does he take pictures for you?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? But if I ask my boyfriend to take pictures, he would. But he usually doesn't. I like to usually take them myself.
Oh, it spices up the relationship if you need a little extra. It's like, ooh, hey, photographer. And you can kind of be like, ooh, like, I see you looking, and the kind of little extra wiggle, and like you try on purpose to make him aroused to see if he can control himself. It's fun.
Sold.
And if you don't like the pictures, you don't have to post them. There it is.
And you know what?
And here's what I've learned.
I like that. So your guy, they don't know who he is.
No.
But I do post online who my guy is. So now they have this image when they buy my stuff that's how it's probably getting taken in pictures.
So what?
That sounds exciting.
Because it's nice. You know,
that sounds exciting.
Are you familiar with Married with Children?
Yes.
Okay, remember Marcy Darcy, how she had like this little sex drive in her, and when she was with her husbands, they get real kinky and do like little fun things?
I think so.
That's how you can use OnlyFans with your boyfriend shooting your stuff. It's like a little Marcy Darcy action.
I've been doing it wrong.
You've been doing it wrong. And then here's the thing. I'll never tell, because that's my secret. But some of my best content he did because we were vibing. And it
That's a good
ended very
idea.
well.
Damn. You know what? Shelly is a very intelligent person. Let me tell
You got to work
She
with what you
knows
got.
how to have a good life.
And then
Got
all of a
the
sudden,
tips.
and then all of a sudden, this is what happens. Okay, let me tell you a little something. Okay, so because I'm a people pleaser and I don't like to put people out, and I take more on than I should. It's one of my faults. I started using Metal Jesus to help me so much because it made it easier for me to just be present, kind of like I was talking about.
That's your best friend.
Well, here's the thing. Like how I was saying,
That's
like if
good.
somebody can like run
Best
this, so
friend.
I can just be present and hang out. It helped me as a model to just be like sexy and in the moment and like give my fans what they want. And so
It's a very vulnerable job.
it is. And so there was a time where I felt like I didn't want to ask him because I felt like I was asking so much that maybe he was like, oh God, now I have to do this like thing again. Like, here we go. So I stopped asking him, which by the way stressed me out because I wasn't pumping out the content. And then one day we had a
Right.
conversation. He was like, well, then there's times where you're like, we're going to shoot and then it just didn't happen. And you just do it yourself. I was like, I thought I was putting you out. He was like, well, I kind of liked it. Like we were shooting. And so then I realized, oh, wow. Like as a guy, he liked it too. So it keeps the spark in many, many ways when you're in a relationship and somebody's down to help you with content.
Genius. But you know what? That can only happen if you got a good one.
No, you have to have somebody that understands the assignment.
Understands the assignment.
They understand the assignment because that's all it is. But you can have fun with it. And sometimes, it's like, okay, maybe you don't feel like taking the photos, but you're like trying to flirt over here. So then the photos come out real cute. Or as if you did them yourself, you probably were like,
Art,
I'm over this, I'm
creative.
tired, like whatever. But instead, just like pop, you know?
It's like a life. It's like a glimpse into our like bedroom night sometimes.
Exactly. And people love it. It's a little sneaky peek. It's a little sneaky peek to get the party started, right, boys? All right, so
Let's see what they got here. Shelly is definitely highly intelligent. ACR the plug. Plug what?
the plug, a butt plug.
Okay, Raquel says, I had an awful allergic reaction earlier today and I almost died because of it.
What the
That
heck happened
sounds
to you?
terrifying.
I'm glad you're okay. Marcy Darcy, yes. Who was better, Steve or Jefferson? Jefferson. Though Steve, I appreciated later in life, but Jefferson all the way. Zach and what is Zach and
Mary making porno.
what?
What?
What does that mean?
English is my second language, so you gotta help me out here.
It's my first, and I don't understand. Repeat. Oh, it's a movie. Unfamiliar. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here because we have to do some other stuff.
Ooh.
But thank you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're better, Raquel. Sending you positive energy.
That sounds terrible. I'm so
It
sorry.
does. I hope you get to feeling better, rest up, take care of yourself. But we're going to get out of here. We have stuff to do. But thank you guys for joining us. And if you joined us on Twitter and YouTube and you missed the first half, go over to my Twitch channel, Shelly from Cali on Twitch. The replay's there. And just pay attention to social media. We'll let you guys know what's going on. Where can they find you on social media?
My Instagram and Threads account is ac.rizzy, Rizzy. I still do have Twitter, so it's AC_Rizzy.
You're back?
I never left. But it's just hanging out there. I'd rather be on Instagram and Threads now. Threads is cool. And my OnlyFans is AC Rizzy.
All right, well, check it out. Until next time, Shelly from Cali. She's the ACR, and we're out of here. Have a good night.